to take this cubic function, x cubed, and apply a series of transformations to x cubed. Okay? So the first one, if I have x cubed, and I want to do a vertical stretch by a factor of 3, my rule for a stretch of 3 is to do what? What operation? Multiply by 3, right? If I was going to do a vertical stretch of compression, I would multiply by 3. So since I have the x cubed, I'm going to take x cubed and multiply by 3. Now my function is 3x cubed. And I want to take 3x cubed and I want to reflect across the x-axis. So to reflect across the x-axis, I negate the whole function. So I'm going to negate this whole function. And then if I want to go 2 units up, my rule is to take the function, negative 3x cubed, and add to it. And since I'm going 2 units up, I'm going to add 2. So negative 3x cubed, and I would add 2. And then my final one, if I'm going to do a horizontal translation 1 unit right, this is my function now, but when I go left and right, only the x gets transformed. Okay? So I still have this negative 3, I still have the cubed, I still have the plus 2, but this x is going to become x minus 1. Right? And the good news is I'm not making you simplify that. I'm not going to make you cube x minus 1. That's a lot of work. So when you're doing left and right transformations, you can leave it like that. Okay, let's try another one. So again, I have x cubed, and now I want to do a vertical stretch by 2. So what do I do with the x cubed? Multiply by 2. Very good. And then I want to go 4 units up. So now I take this 2x cubed and I do what? Add 4. You're going to go 4 units up. And then I'm going to take this 2x cubed plus 4 and I go 3 units to the left. So remember, whenever you go left and right, just the x gets parentheses around it, right? Just the x gets parentheses around it, and I'm going to add the 3 in the parentheses. And there's my function. Okay. Let's try another one. So again, I have x cubed, and now I want to reflect across the y-axis. Reflecting across the y-axis is different than the x, because on x cubed, just the x is going to get negated, right? But these we can simplify. Any negative to an odd degree stays negative. So this would actually simplify to negative x cubed. Okay? The only ones you're not going to simplify are the horizontal left and right. Now I have this negative x cubed, and I want to go 1 unit down. So I take the negative x cubed and I subtract 1. Very good. And then I'm going to do 5 units to the left. So remember, whenever I go left and right, just the x, right, gets changed. So I put parentheses around the x, and to go to the left means I add 5. And we'll do 1 more of those. So again, x cubed is my function, and I want to go 3 units down. So what do I do with x cubed? Minus 3, very good. And then I want to do a horizontal translation 2 units to the right. So again, just the x, right, gets changed. And what do I do in those parentheses? Subtract 2 to go 2 units to the right. Good. To go backwards, I look at my cubic function, because that 3 means cubic, and there was 6 things that happened here. Not 6, 4 things that happened here. 4 things. What were they? What would this negative mean? Reflect over the x. What does 27 mean? Vertical stretch of 27. What would minus 2 in the parentheses mean? Right 2. And what does plus 8 outside the parentheses mean? Up 8. Good. Let's try another one of those.
Holy cow.
What would this negative mean? Reflect over the x. Good. What does 1/8 mean? What kind of vertical? Vertical compression. When it's less than 1, it's a compression. -7 would mean right 7. Subtract just to the right. And then -8 would be down 8. Okay. So it's just going backwards. I think we're good on that, right? Let's jump to the last part then. Okay, so this is where it gets a little bit trickier because you're going to do the transformations, but instead of just x cubed, we're going to do it to an x cubed that already got some transformations. This x cubed was already stretched by 4 and went down 5. Now take this and move 2 units to the left. So we should remember, if I'm going 2 units to the left, just the x is going to get parentheses. So go 2 units to left, this would become x plus 2, right? And then, if I want to take this whole function and reflect it across the x-axis, everything gets negated. Because think about it, if I'm going down 5, but I reflect over the x-axis, now it's up 5. So you can see that when you take this whole function times a negative to go over the x-axis, the negative goes in front of that 4, and the negative goes to the -5 here because now instead of down 5, we reflected, so now it's up 5. Okay, now let's try another one. This same function again, right? 4x cubed minus 5. Compress horizontally by a factor of 1/5. Okay, if you look at your rule to do a horizontal compression, my rule is 1/1/5. What is 1/1/5? 5. 5. So really, I'm going to put 5x just in for the x. Just like my left and right movements, I just subtract in parentheses left and right. My 5x just goes in for x there. So what that looks like is this. I would have 5x cubed minus 5. Okay? Whenever you're doing left and right or horizontal, anything horizontal, just the x gets multiplied. And then I would take this function, I still need to go 1 unit up, so if I'm 5 units down and I need to move that 1 unit up, it'll then become -4. Right? And you can simplify this one more step, because you should know 5 cubed is 125. And then I can multiply 500 x cubed minus 4. Okay. When you just have a single term in there, you can simplify. If you have a binomial that you're cubing, that's fine. I'm not making you simplify that. But these are simple enough that you could cube the 5 and then multiply. You can keep going on that one.
Wait, I need the 500?
Last one, again, I have this function, and I'm going to do a stretch of 3. So my rule for stretches and compressions is you take the whole function times 3, right? Everything gets times by 3 when you do vertical stretches and compressions. So that simplifies 12x cubed minus 15. But then I'm going to go 3 units to the right. And we should know 3 units to the right, just this x gets parentheses, right? And to go 3 units to the right means subtract 3. And you can stop there. I'm not going to make you simplify the binomials.